everybody. I decided to make this video by request from the comments and in response to the most recent filing from Derek Chauvin's defense attorneys. First, I should point out that there's nothing that anyone should be surprised about this filing because the attorney had to file this before sentencing. Otherwise, he would lose the ability to argue any of these issues on appeal. So anything that he wanted to raise on an appeal, he had to raise prior to sentencing and bring it up. There's really only one surprise issue in his motion. We don't know what the actual arguments are, so things like prosecutorial misconduct, we don't know exactly what he's going to be alleging that constituted because he asked for an extension of time in order to actually brief these issues, meaning actually write the legal arguments and cite to the binding authority, either Minnesota Appellate or Supreme Court or the United States Supreme Court authority, or what's called persuasive authority, which would be any other court, in order to back up his point. But he had to raise these issues prior to the sentencing in order to have them preserved for appeal. So what did he raise? He raised the issue that the judge didn't sequester the jury at his request when the Dante Wright shooting happened, as though the trial judge is going to rule that he himself made a mistake. Not likely. He raised the issue of him not sequestering after the Maxine Waters statements. Again, that would be the trial judge having to overrule himself, but again, he has to just preserve it, so there's no real surprise there. I can't comment on what he means in form of prosecutorial misconduct because he hasn't raised it, but the one issue that was kind of a shock, and that as a defense attorney I can say could be a very severe issue, is the one of juror misconduct, and that's courtesy of juror number 52, Brandon Mitchell. Apparently during jury selection there was a questionnaire handed out, and it was asked if anyone had ever participated in any form of protest related to George Floyd or had anyone close to them or knew anyone who was related to any protest related to George Floyd. Now, Brandon Mitchell, apparently a Facebook photograph surfaced of him wearing a "Get Your Knee Off Our Necks" t-shirt from a rally, the Martin Luther King annual Get Out the Vote rally, although if you watch any video of Reverend Al Sharpton immediately prior to this rally down in D.C., it is in honor of Martin Luther King's march to the Capitol, and it was prior to the election and for the purposes of that, but Reverend Al Sharpton specifically in his call out to everyone, and it says, references George Floyd and, get your knee off our necks, and Brandon Mitchell is actually seen wearing such a shirt. He answered no in the questionnaire, that neither he nor anyone near him participated in such a protest. Now, he is already on record in the media saying that he wasn't at a protest, it was a rally, and it was for get out the vote. So it's going to be a real thorny, prickly issue as to whether or not he answered that question honestly. I have to be honest, I could see this breaking either way. I mean, being completely transparent. As a defense attorney, if I was in Chauvin's lawyer's position, I would be shouting from the top of my lungs to get a mistrial based on this, and I would be stating that it's absolutely juror misconduct. As someone who also has experience working in a prosecutor's office and knows how hard it is to obtain a conviction and get proof beyond a reasonable doubt, and how angry you are when you lose it, I can totally see the prosecutor losing his mind and screaming from the top of his lungs that it matters what was in the juror's mind and how he interpreted the question, and that it's not necessarily true. And how are they going to get to the bottom of this? Well, the defense has asked for what's called a Schwartz hearing. A Schwartz hearing literally entitles them to bring the jurors in, put them on the stand, swear them in under oath, under the penalties of perjury, and question them. And I would not be surprised in the least if the judge permitted the defense to do this. They've made that request, and I think it's likely going to come true. I don't think there's any other way to get to the bottom of why that juror said no, because he's insisting that he did not intend to lie or mislead, but you can obviously see how having a photograph with a shirt that says, "Get your knees off our necks," I picture George Floyd on it, doesn't look good for a juror to have said that he wasn't at any rallies or any protests related to George Floyd, even if it was a rally for Martin Luther King in honor of Martin Luther King. So I can tell you that if I was on either side of this, I'd be screaming at the top of my lungs, and it is definitely possible that there will be a mistrial, and there will have to be a whole new trial because of this incident. I'm just being honest. Legally, it is an issue that I wouldn't want to touch if I was the trial judge. I'm pretty sure the trial judge isn't going to make a ruling on it. He's probably going to just go forward with sentencing and let the appellate court of Minnesota, or the Supreme Court of Minnesota, deal with it. But I'm sure he's going to have the jurors put under oath and questioned first to create a record so that those courts can deal with it. So until something like that happens, I don't really have anything more to really comment on for you except to watch for that hearing, because I'm sure it's going to be very interesting, because as a defense attorney, if he's going to get Brandon Mitchell on the stand, he's likely going to get the other 11 jurors too, because he alleged that they were intimidated, that the Dante Wright shooting influenced them, that Maxine Waters influenced them. So if he's going to get one juror up under oath, he's probably going to be entitled to get them all. So it's going to be pretty interesting. So as of right now, Derek Chauvin's conviction is not as firmly in cement as people would like to think it is, because I'm telling you, as unbiasedly as I can, that as a defense attorney, I would not let this drop. This is going to be an issue that's going to be sticking around until probably the Minnesota Supreme Court gets its hands on it, which could be a year from now. So this will be going on for a while, but the hearing should be soon. I also intended on putting out a Gates and Giuliani video as soon as I feel that the developments have stopped, because for some reason Matt Gates, whenever he has something go on in this case, it always tends to come out in like a vomit of incidents over the course of days. So I'll probably be making a Gates and Giuliani video explaining the search warrant at Rudy Giuliani's, what the burden was, stuff like that, and the significance of the Joel Greenberg letter and Gates's situation, because that's not good. But for now, just the Chauvin remarks per request, and hope everyone's doing well. And thanks as always for your comments, kind words. You don't know how much they're truly appreciated. All right, everybody stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks.